The secret of man's being is not only to live but to have something to live for. I gave up caring about anything and all the problems disappeared. To go wrong in one's own way is better than to go right in someone else's. People really do like seeing their best friends humiliated. A large part of the friendship is based on humiliation, and that is an old truth, well known to all intelligent people. Only through suffering can we find ourselves. Intelligence alone is not nearly enough when it comes to acting wisely. There is immeasurably more left inside than what comes out in words. Nothing is more seductive for a man than his freedom of conscience, but nothing is a greater cause of suffering. Nature doesn't ask your permission. It doesn't care about your wishes or whether you like its laws or not. You're obliged to accept it as it is, and consequently all its results as well. Besides, nowadays, almost all capable people are terribly afraid of being ridiculous and are miserable because of it. Let us not forget that the reasons for human actions are usually incalculably more complex and diverse than we tend to explain them later, and are seldom clearly manifest. The more I detest men individually, the more ardent becomes my love for humanity. My soul bleeds in the blood, steadily, silently, disturbingly, slowly swallows me whole. Man is a creature that can get accustomed to anything, and I think that is the best definition of him. But men love abstract reasoning and neat systematization so much that they think nothing of distorting the truth, closing their eyes and ears to contrary evidence to preserve their logical constructions. To be in love is not the same as loving. You can be in love with a woman and still hate her. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Taking a new step, uttering a new word, is what people fear most. What man wants is simply independent choice, whatever that independence may cost, and wherever it may lead. Since man cannot live without miracles, he will provide himself with miracles of his own making. He will believe in witchcraft and sorcery, even though he may otherwise be a heretic, an atheist, and a rebel. My friend, the truth is always implausible. Did you know that to make the truth more plausible, it's absolutely necessary to mix a bit of falsehood with it? People have always done so. Reality is infinitely diverse compared with even the subtlest conclusions of abstract thought, and does not allow of clear-cut and sweeping distinctions. Reality resists classification. I am strongly convinced that not only too much consciousness, but even any consciousness at all is a sickness. There is nothing higher and stronger and more wholesome and useful for life in later years than some good memory, especially a memory connected with childhood, with home. If you can put the question, am I or am I not responsible for my acts, then you are responsible. Man has it all in his hands, and it all slips through his fingers from sheer cowardice. Was it all put into words, or did both understand that they had the same thing at heart and in their minds, so that there was no need to speak of it aloud, and better not to speak of it? They tease me now, telling me it was only a dream. But does it matter whether it was a dream or reality, if the dream made known to me the truth? Men like to count their troubles, few calculate their happiness. I think the devil doesn't exist, but man has created him. He has created him in his own image and likeness. Dreams seem to be spurred on not by reason, but by desire, not by the head, but by the heart. And yet, what complicated tricks my reason has played sometimes in dreams. A man who lies to himself and believes his own lies becomes unable to recognize truth either in himself or in anyone else, and he ends up losing respect for himself and for others. I believe there is no one deeper, lovelier, more sympathetic, and more perfect than Jesus. She looked much younger than her age, indeed, which is almost always the case with women who retain serenity of spirit, sensitiveness, and pure, sincere warmth of heart to old age. One must love life before loving its meaning, yes, and when the love of life disappears, no meaning can console us. They were renewed by love, the heart of each held infinite sources of life for the heart of the other. At first, art imitates life, then life will imitate art, then life will find its very existence from the arts. Destroy my desires, eradicate my ideals. Show me something better, and I will follow you. A novel is a work of poetry. In order to write it, one must have tranquility of spirit and of impression. Men do not accept their prophets and slay them, but they love their martyrs and worship those whom they have tortured to death. If you were to destroy the belief in immortality in mankind, not only love, but every living force on which the continuation of all life in the world depended would dry up at once. Man, so long as he remains free, has no more constant and agonizing anxiety than find as quickly as possible someone to worship. There is no subject so old that something new cannot be said about it. One can know a man from his laugh, And if you like a man's laugh before you know anything of him, you may confidently say that he is a good man. Happiness does not lie in happiness, but in the achievement of it. There are things which a man is afraid to tell even to himself, and every decent man has a number of such things stored away in his mind. A real gentleman, even if he loses everything he owns, must show no emotion. Money must be so far beneath a gentleman that it is hardly worth troubling about. Man only likes to count his troubles, but he does not count his joys. Man is fond of counting his troubles, but he does not count his joys. If he counted them up as he ought to, he would see that every lot has enough happiness provided for it.